in the Western Conference. Along with Brent Barry, I'm Stan Verrett. And Brent, it doesn't take much of a look at the numbers to understand what happened tonight, especially when you look at the offensive rebounds and second chance points.
Well, you said rough night for the Clippers. There's a reason why it was rough, and it was because of Portland. Their focus, their intensity tonight, I mean, right from the jump in the first quarter with their full court pressure, just deciding to bring the fight right to the Clippers, and they just stayed after it all night long. They anticipate the missed shots. They're not a good shooting team. They anticipate the turnovers. They're a long team that can do that and get out and transition. And tonight they came in here very, very focused. And for a young coach, Tiago Splitter, he's got to be really happy about flying down here and having that kind of outing.
Yeah, they played like a team desperate to keep their season going.
Yeah, I don't know if it's so much desperation as it was focused and kind of like that's their identity. Their identity is a scrappy team where they just continue to play defense, and they're going to try to wear you down. On top of that, their all-star played like an all-star. Denny was amazing in this game, and Drew Holiday was everything that Portland was hoping he would be when it comes down to big games and showing leadership. He's a been-there, done-that kind of guy. Came back down here to L.A. and put one on the Clippers.
Yeah, there were a couple of times where he just fired it up like he knew it was going in every time.
Yeah, but also, Stan, tonight, I thought Drew did a great job because they elected to put length on Darius Garland, so Kamara was playing him, and Drew was the physical presence trying to get underneath Kawhi Leonard. And those guys had a real hard time finding any kind of open space and just really threw off what the Clippers had done all month long. This is the #1 offense, the #1 offensive rated team in the month of March. And they were like me on the dance floor. They had no rhythm in this game.
And Holiday with the game-high 30 points, 7 of 15 from 3. Again, this is not a great three-point shooting team, but they got enough done.
Well, they started off, they started off hot, Stan, right? And then they went cold, and then they made a couple that counted. But it was one of those nights, I think, is if you're a fan or you're a coach and you've seen this team play all year long, the things that get a team a lead, you're like, oh, man, we've got to cut that off. We've got to somehow, like, turn that valve off. And you think that you do it. And that was pretty much the offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
And so 4 or 5 minutes go by, you're like, oh, this feels a little bit better. And then when it counts, you give up 4 or 5 offensive rebounds. Or you turn the ball over. And that's what happened to the Clippers here tonight. And a ton of credit to the Portland Trailblazers to come here tonight. Look, new ownership. How about Tom Dundon and his group celebrating under his watch their first win, but to do that on the road, very focused, and the Clippers are going to have to regroup because there's another team coming in here in the San Antonio Spurs that if you thought you saw defense tonight, they're going to play some against you Thursday.
Let's go back to those offensive rebounds, though, because we talked about it pregame. They're #1 in the league in second chance points, and it's because of how they hit the offensive glass.
Yeah, again, anticipating you're hoping for your teammates' success, but they know they have shooters that aren't great from the outside, aren't great from the mid-range, but Donovan Clingan on the inside can collect offensive rebounds. Denny, like, they had a lot of guys who had offensive rebounds. Their guard, Scoot Henderson, got in there for some. Drew Holiday got in there for some. And that's the way this team is built. That's the way they've competed all year long. And here they are now grabbing their 39th win and tying up the Clippers in the win column in the Western Conference.
Yep. Officially a half game back. So the Clippers still in charge of the 8th spot right now, but things got a whole lot closer because of those offensive rebounds. Let's listen in to Ty Lue's post-game comments.
No, we understood how they played, and we're not good enough with the small lineup right now. I told the players I take accountability for that because we haven't had a chance to practice, and we haven't played small all year, and so we don't know how to play offensively with the small unit yet. And we will get better, but we don't have a lot of time to really practice on it, And so I just thought offensively, with the small unit, we just, running around all over the place, not sure what to run. And so we just got to, clean that up. But we understood their size, having to play small, that they was going to, they're going to rebound the basketball. That's what they do. And so, 18 offensive rebounds was really pretty tough to overcome.
You mentioned the small lineup. Are these just the growing pains that are just going to have to happen? I know you there's a short runway till the end of the regular season, but like, are these the growing pains that you have to go through in order to get to the part of the lineup that you actually like?
I hope not, but it just like we just not very good at it. You know, we haven't done it all season long, and when two of your centers go down, you know, it puts you in a position where you have to play that way, and we're not good at it. So I take responsibility. You know, it happened, you know, 2 games ago, and we haven't had a chance to really work on how we want to play. Went over a few things, but it's not good enough.
Coach, can you talk about just how some of their ball pressure was kind of able to fluster you guys? Like Ben, only 4 points. He's one of the key guys for you. Can you talk about that? Yeah, I thought what hurt Ben was, you know, us being small and not, you know, getting to our spots, understanding what to run. And it really took away from, because really we got into the penalty really early and we didn't get a chance to utilize them the way we normally do. And so, like I said, I take responsibility for that, but we're just not there yet as far as playing with that small unit. And, you know, it hurt Ben tonight.
So sometimes the first game back from a road trip can almost be like another road game. Did you feel like that was, especially with the later tip, that was a factor tonight?
I don't know. B-Shaw brought up a few times, you know, but I thought they came in and played well. I thought they were, you know, more aggressive. They attacked more. They were more physical, and they came in with a purpose, and they, you know, they beat us.
And obviously, you guys were able to come away with wins on the road. There were probably a couple of those games where you weren't fully thrilled with the way you guys play. Was there anything from that road trip, just tendency-wise, that you felt like carried over tonight that you would like to see fixed?
I don't know. I just, you know, I know with our small unit, we got to get better with that, you know, and I thought in Milwaukee, you know, it hurt us as well, you know, just not being organized and not having, you know, Isaiah got hurt on the road, so it wasn't any practice time, things we try to put in, but just out of whack offensively with that second unit. I mean, with the small unit.
Coach, you spoke about how Chris Dunn has always set the tone for you guys defensively to start the game, but he hasn't been in the starting lineup. Portland came out, hit you guys. It doesn't seem like you guys really fought back. How do you guys set the tone for yourself against a team like this? You got Drew, who shot the ball 21 times tonight. He's not a guy who really gets a lot of shots up. So how are you going to get your guys to set that tone defensively if Chris Dunn is not out there? Because I know I've asked you about this before. You said collectively. But today it just seemed like you guys didn't have much fight back.
I don't know about the fight. I mean, we looked sluggish a little bit. You know, I didn't think we had much pop. I thought they was a lot faster than us, a lot bigger than us. They attacked us. And, you know, I just didn't think we could, you know, withstand how they were playing, the force which they were playing at, you know, obviously getting downhill, getting to the basket, clinging offensive rebounds, Rob Williams, you know, so they were just, you know, more physical. They attacked us, and like you said, we had no answers for them.
Coach, you went to Jordan down the stretch. He had some success against this Portland. What did you like about him against this Portland lineup specifically?
You know, a guy that can get to the basket, you know, he can get to the free throw line, and he can attack. And I just thought he had a decent game going, so we just rolled it out.
Coach, DG had a technical today. Can you just talk about what was said during that interaction between him and the ref?
I didn't even know. I didn't know what happened. But, yeah, no, I don't know.
Kind of follow up on that. Darius just seemed to have a frustrating night overall. How do you kind of counter just teams when they try to, you know, like put an Avdi on him, for example, get the mismatch and everything? How do you kind of counteract that and make sure you get
I don't think
help?
that was a problem. I think, like I said, just not knowing how to play small. Like, we're not very good at it. And like I said, with Darius and with Ben, like they just, you know, they're accustomed to having 5 men in the game. They can roll so they can get, you know, get to their, you know, their shots or whatever. And playing small, switching 1 through 5, you know, putting our 5 on different guys because we're small. And so just, you know, out of whack offensively. And so, like I said, we're not very good at it, playing small. And I think that affected him as well.
Well, Tyler,